In Northampton, we admit to feeling more than a trifle expansive. After all, it was the Financial Times which said, "We're in an area which is guaranteed success because of our central position astride the motorway network." But it's not just the location which attracts businessmen to Northampton.
We looked at a number of sites, both new development areas and also existing locations. But after considering all the pros and cons of all these and the availability of office space in some of these places, we decided that Northampton was the place where we should establish the centre.
We had to move from Cockfosters because we outgrown the building. We looked at several locations throughout the country, and Northampton, for us, was the right place to move.
The right place and the right time, as Simon Sperrin, Chief Executive of the Northamptonshire Chamber of Commerce and Industry, knows.
I come here from Birmingham, and I've been surprised at the atmosphere of growth and optimism that I find in Northampton. Something we were used to perhaps in the 60s, but is a rare thing nowadays.
60 miles by road or rail is the love in my fairy tale. 60 miles to reach my gate, Northampton. It's a feeling I can't explain. I only know that it feels the same. I just can't wait to be Northampton.
Giving people something to sing about is the responsibility of the Northampton Development Corporation. Armed with prize-winning housing developments and every type of office and factory accommodation to attract top firms from all over the world, you might think they wouldn't have to try very hard. Because as the general manager of the corporation, Leslie Austin Crowe, admits,
it's a pleasant town in very attractive countryside, and we can offer a total range of facilities for the businessman, the factory owner, the distributor who wants a warehouse. We offer not only business premises, but facilities for living generally, good educational facilities, first-rate entertainment facilities. Our range of housing to rent or to buy privately is second to none.
it's not only the range of housing which is unbeatable, you'll also find that houses here are considerably cheaper than in London and much less than in most other major towns. Wherever you decide to live, you'll be surrounded by delightful countryside with an abundance of country parks, picnic areas, riverside walks, woodlands and wildlife parks. All this is on the very doorstep of this important centre of commerce. Northampton is a thriving market town with centuries of business experience behind it. No wonder BL's Pensions Administration Manager, Jed Carter, has chosen it for their new headquarters.
Primarily we were looking for a site outside of London because of costs of accommodation into London, and somewhere which had good communications with the London area and also with our major plants in the Midlands. We felt that going to a brand new town, we could have problems in the initial development and in attracting staff into that type of area. Coming to Northampton, we were coming into an area which was really developing on an existing, well-matured site with antecedents and historical interests, and we felt that this would be an added attraction for bringing staff into the area.
And how do staff feel about coming here?
Well, our experience has been very good. We have transferred some of our existing staff from other locations in the north and in the Midlands, and their experience has been very good. They've been quite happy to come into Northampton. We've also attracted new staff at senior levels in from the London area who felt that this was a tremendous change in their way of life, rather than living the commuting life of moving in from the outlying areas of London on tubes and going into London. Here they could come and get nice housing close to an established town within easy access, driving through pleasant countryside, and this has been a tremendous change in their outlook on life, I think.
Pick a nice bunch up where you like. Help yourselves, pick your own banana.
Produce from all over the world is sold daily in one of Europe's biggest open-air markets. And here can be found part of the key to Northampton's sweet taste of success. For here are traditional market town values side by side with an impressive record of growth and dynamism. The Grosvenor shopping centre next door has its own car park and pedestrian link to the central bus station. And there are shopping, social and entertainment facilities on a grand scale in the nearby Eastern Expansion area, which has thousands of new homes. Every kind of educational need is catered for, from nursery through to adult education. In recent years, dozens of major firms have chosen Northampton as their base. Good land and the right type of buildings are just two of the attractions. Northampton opens the door to every kind of business opportunity. Ready-built factory units are readily available, as are sites of all sizes for factory or office development. And remember, here you're at the heart of the motorway network, on the M1, midway between London and Birmingham. Half of Britain's industrial production and most of the population are within a 100-mile radius, as are the major seaports of London, Southampton, Bristol, Immingham, Felixstowe and Harwich. The ready-made factories built by the corporation are constructed to a standard you'll find hard to match anywhere. And ready-made means just that. At the Brackmills development, which is on the road linking Northampton with the M1, these units come complete with heating and top quality finish inside and out. Whether you need 5,000 or 20,000 square feet, these landscaped units, with parking and loading facilities all laid on, are ready for immediate occupation. And you'll have some familiar names as neighbours. It's little wonder that NFI chose a site at Brackmills for their National Distribution Centre, as did American toy manufacturer Fisher-Price. But if what you need is the ideal site on which to build to your own specification, then the choice is yours. At nearby Round Spinney and Moulton Park employment areas, you'll find that whether you want your factory ready-made or made to measure, Northampton is ready when you are. Northampton also has a shining history of good labour relations. Personnel manager George Fussey knows how important that is.
We've always managed to get our labour. Whenever we've increased our production, we've, through dealing with the Greater London Council, bringing people into Northampton, and this is how we've run. And we have increased our workforce from about 90 in the 5 years we've been here, up to 150.
John Sturdy of Diversey, the cleaning and hygiene people, has no doubts about his firm's move to Northampton.
The schools were good. The housing in particular was good. Had the whole spectrum of housing, right from executives' houses, the 5-bedroom type houses down to semi-detached, and also had the corporation houses for letting. We took all these factors into consideration and Northampton came out top of the league.
The 250 houses on the Southfields rented housing development have proved to be top of the league in their own right, winning a medal for Northampton in the government's awards for good design in housing. There are healthy signs wherever you look in Northampton, with the momentum of expansion unchecked even by the recession. Your youngsters and your team could be sure of success in this Middle England county town, where hundreds of new jobs are being created every year. For the less energetic, there's horse racing at Towcester and motor racing at nearby Silverstone, unless you'd rather drive yourself. In a county town as English as real ale, the marriage of the new development to the original stock has been done with equal consideration for the needs of both. New growth is a welcome sight on this oak tree, which has been steadfast for so many years. The Royal Theatre and Opera House has been catering for the needs of theatregoers for nearly a century. A leading Sunday Times critic described it as one of the most progressive and artistically renowned theatres in the country. He clearly liked what he saw, and so will you. And the Northampton Development Corporation is waiting to welcome you.
Once the businessman has made his decision to locate at Northampton, we ask them about their own requirements, which are very important. Things such as their own housing requirements, educational facilities which they need, any particular health problems that might need attention. We try and convince them that Northampton has a great deal to offer to them. And it's our objective to make the move to Northampton as speedy and indeed as enjoyable as possible. And when people have actually moved here, then we're anxious to help them integrate into the community, as so many thousands of people have successfully done before them.
60 miles by road or rail is the love in my fairy tale. 60 miles to reach my gate, Northampton. It's a feeling I can't explain. I only know that it feels the same. I just can't wait to be
very friendly, and no problems about integrating the family or the children. It's worked out very well.
To find out more about expanding Northampton, telephone 0604 34734.